This July, residents of the West Calumet housing complex in East Chicago, Indiana, were told they would need to vacate their homes because the EPA reported dangerously high levels of lead in the soil. But the complex was built in 1972, and since then, not much has changed in East Chicago. No new factories, no chemical accidents. Some of the 1,000-plus residents are still there, and many of them are wondering, just how long has the EPA known about the problem? Arielle Duhaime-Ross went to East Chicago to find out more.
Do you know if this park is contaminated?
I'm pretty sure this park is.
Naisa Walker has lived within the West Calumet housing complex since she was born. She is a 28-year-old mother of 3. Naisa is one of over 1,000 residents being told to move out of the complex because of dangerously high levels of lead found in the soil.
You don't know what to think now because it's been going on for so long. Ain't no telling how long they've been keeping this secret from everybody.
Construction of the West Calumet housing complex was completed in 1972 on land formerly occupied by metal processing and lead factories. Dr. Gabrielle Filippelli is a professor of earth sciences who studies lead contamination in soil.
It's coming back with the lead values now, 750 basically parts per million.
That's a lot more than the legal limit where the EPA says, okay, we have to act.
It's double.
Sherry Hunter has lived in East Chicago since before the West Calumet housing complex was built. When you were growing up here and you lived right across from a lead plant, did you worry about lead contamination?
No. We didn't know anything about it. So we didn't know the danger of lead at that time. Not at all.
Do you know anybody personally who has tested for high levels of lead in their blood?
Yes. I know 3 people. One is my nephew and 2 other kids. This is it right here, the USS lead plant.
And so that's where the plant is, or
That's where it used to be.
Where it used to be.
And they tore it down and they covered it with rocks and dirt.
In 2009, the EPA designated the land around the old factories as a Superfund site, which means that it's been contaminated by hazardous waste. But no one from the EPA or any local or state officials told West Calumet residents they might be at risk until recently. This neighborhood, a lot of people have been talking about how it was built on the footprint of a lead factory and lead plants in the area. What does that mean exactly for the people here?
Once lead is deposited on the landscape, it stays there. It stays there for something like 500 to 1,000 years, right? So it's that long. It might be lurking just underneath the grass or the mulch, which means that kids who play in the dirt, who interact with it quite a bit, continually are exposed by this legacy lead. But it's this footprint concept.
Filippelli also studied lead contamination in Flint, Michigan. How is this different than what happened in Flint?
What happened in Flint is a problem that can be solved a lot faster than this particular problem, right? What happened in Flint was a failure to truly understand the dynamics of lead exposure in a water system, and then a reluctance to actually act on it once they knew about it.
Is this actually worse than Flint?
In this case, the extent of this problem is so much more vast than the Flint case, right? There's no real instantaneous fix for it.
A representative from the EPA said that it's up to local or state government to decide whether to evacuate residents from a Superfund site. We asked the East Chicago Mayor's office why West Calumet wasn't shut down sooner, but they did not respond. The city's housing authority said they didn't know the extent of the contamination until earlier this year, when the EPA released their report. The demolition date has yet to be set, and despite the risks, many West Calumet residents are not in a hurry to leave.
People are angry, people don't know what to do, some people don't have nowhere to go.
Do you want to move away from West Calumet?
No, I'm used to being right here because this is where I was born and raised, grew up. I don't want to move, but I have no choice.